When it comes to reducing emissions and eliminating plastics, we often hear about taxes and just how expensive solutions can be. Is it possible to go green without breaking the bank? Turns out going green could actually save you money. You might just have to pay more upfront and wait a year or two to see the benefits. An electric vehicle is a perfect example. The city says transportation accounts for more than half of Kelowna's greenhouse gas emissions. You might have to put a couple thousand more upfront, but you can reduce your emissions and save a lot on the price of gas. Marianne Cools, communications for BC Hydro, broke down the mileage cost.
In this circumstance, we're looking at a Nissan Leaf. You're looking around $400 a year or $33 a month in electricity costs. And in an equivalent gas-powered vehicle, you're looking at $1,848 or $150 a month on gas.
She says annual maintenance typically costs a lot less too, about $100 a month difference.
Basic things like you don't need to change your oil in an electric vehicle, right? So that's something you're no longer paying for.
And the car battery expected to last at least 5 years. But buying an electric vehicle means you need somewhere to charge it. Cool says you can use a standard household outlet or opt to get a level 2 charger installed.
The cost to install that varies greatly due to a variety of factors, including the need for any electrical upgrades. But generally, you're looking at around $700 to $2,000. There's also public charging infrastructure across the province for people who can't charge at home, and that number is continuing to grow. Right now, there's more than 2,500 public charging stations across the province.
Tourism Kelowna lists more than 20 charging stations in and around the city, so no shortage of places to charge up. Still not convinced an electric vehicle is for you? Maybe a plug-in hybrid is worth taking a look at.
So they're often cheaper and cleaner to run than traditional hybrid vehicles. You still need some gas, but far less frequently. And there are some plug-in hybrid vehicle options under the $30,000 mark. However, there are still some maintenance and gas costs that you'll have to consider.
Or opt for even less expensive green transportation and buy an electric scooter or bicycle. The government might even help you make the switch to a greener vehicle. Learn more about government incentives for sustainable living later this week in my series, The Costs of Going Green. I'm Brittany Webster. Building an affordable family home today means building a green home. That's the message EcoHome is trying to get across as they offer advice on building and renovating with sustainability and reduced emissions in mind. Development Director for EcoHome, Robert Pearson.
The American EPA, they state on their website in relation to air quality of modern homes that a modern home in the US, North America, Canada comes within this. A modern home is like filling a plastic bag with toxic materials and then putting it over your head.
You don't want a home that simply meets code. Pearson says that's the bare minimum to make it livable. When building a home on a budget, you still want it to withstand time. Pearson says efficiency and air permeability are two things to keep top of mind. As much as half your energy bill could be blowing through the cracks from air leaks in the structure.
If you're looking to make the home more efficient, the best value proposition within this equation is not to try and make energy cheaper by solar panels, by geothermal, by heat pumps, etc., etc. The best value proposition is to reduce your reliance and need for those elements by creating a more efficient envelope.
And in reality, Pearson says a more efficient green home is going to cost the same or less to build than a regular code-built home when you break it down monthly.
That's without taking into account the value of your investment in buying the home. So in other words, the future value of your home is more likely to be a positive and better result if the home that you're buying is a highly efficient one.
If you're building a home, Pearson says it's easy to find sustainable materials because they'll have green certification. Companies like Lowe's and Rona have made sustainable products part of their corporate policy. And Rona only offers Forest Stewardship Council wood products, meaning it's been harvested from a sustainably managed forest. So, building a sustainable, energy-efficient home is the best way to cut down on monthly expenses and ensure your home will last. Seems like a no-brainer. Building green is the way to go. I'm Brittany Webster. A wise frog once said, "It's not easy being green, but what if it can be?" Don Gifford, owner of Small Footprint Family, has become an expert in saving money while living a more sustainable, waste-free life.
Some of the greenest things you can do are either free or they cost very little money.
Did you know putting a brick in your toilet tank will save you water? Same with installing an aerator on all your taps.
It brings your water usage out of the sink way down, usually to just a couple gallons per minute or less, so that even though you're still getting plenty of water, it's aerated, so you're using less of it. So every time you wash your dishes, every time you brush your teeth, you're using less water.
Gifford says the big game changer for her was a programmable thermostat.
Just the simple act of not heating or cooling my house while I'm gone all day is a tremendous savings. I would definitely recommend doing that as one of your first sort of investments in going green and in saving money.
As we heard yesterday, much of your money goes out the window with air leaks, so a programmable thermostat could save you bundles. You'll likely save more if you improve the weather stripping on doors and windows. But there's one thing Gifford says is impossible to cut costs on and still use: the dryer. It's one appliance that doesn't come with an Energy Star rating.
You're basically creating and blowing hot air for a long cycle to get all the clothes dry. But by allowing them to dry outside or by allowing them to dry inside on a rack near a source of heat or a source of air, it takes a little longer to dry your clothes, absolutely, but you can plan for that, and it immediately cuts a huge energy suck off of your utility bill.
Just add a little vinegar when washing to keep them from drying stiff. Another great way to save money while going green is your very own backyard garden. Not only do you get rid of plastic packaging waste, you can skip the grocery till and leave money in your wallet. And you can compost food waste to help things grow.
Not everybody can do this, or not everyone's going to have an interest in doing this, but adding fresh produce to my food, my weekly food intake, and not having to buy them from the store is not only delicious, but it tends to save me a lot of money on fresh organic produce too.
Find more tips and tricks on cutting costs while going green on Gifford's website, smallfamilyfootprint.com. Turns out going green is a lot easier than you think. I'm Brittany Webster. There are all these goals and targets to reduce emissions and improve the climate. All week, we've looked at how not to break the bank. But what if you just want to live greener? How about upping your recycling game? According to Cynthia Coates with Regional District of Central Okanagan, a lot of what people put in the blue bin can't actually be recycled.
It's kind of like wish cycling. Like I really don't want this to go to landfill, and I hope it's recyclable, and I put it in. It's a nice idea, but it does cause us a few problems for sure. We really have to just stick to what's acceptable in those curbside carts.
Clothing, toys, electronics, and Tupperware are a no-go, but empty aerosol cans and foil wrap are blue bin safe.
Things like disposable cups, so your coffee cups. Lots of people think that those are not recyclable, but in the Central Okanagan and the rest of BC, those are. Cartons, so things like your alternative milk products, like a soy milk or something like that, or those Tetra-type boxes that soup come in, frozen food. Cartons, like your ice cream cartons, which have kind of that plastic film on them that people think is wax. All of those can be recycled.
Did you know putting something in the blue bin that shouldn't be there poses a hazard for workers at the recycle plant? Coates says things like empty camping propane tanks or lithium batteries are a fire hazard.
Some of the other innocuous stuff, like a garden hose, when it gets to the recycling plant, something like that, we call them tanglers. They get caught up in all the equipment. It can cause shutdown at the facility. And then other stuff is just, it's time, it's money to sort out all of that stuff, and it lowers the value of the overall recycling.
There are a handful of items that shouldn't go out for curbside pickup, but can be recycled at a depot. Things like styrofoam, glass jars, and plastic bags. And if you need some incentive, you can get your money back by using bottle depots that reimburse for recycling. Coates says the district has a tool to make recycling easy.
We also have a really great app for the whole region. It's called Recycle Coach, and it has a really great what goes where search feature. So if you have an item in your hand, you're not sure, you can search it up, and it will give you recommendations on best option for that, where you could recycle it, or if it's not recyclable, that it would recommend it's garbage. And the app also provides you with your garbage schedule, your recycling schedule, your yard waste schedule, and a bunch of notifications if you want to know about any events that we might be having.
The app is available on both Apple and Android phones. I'm Brittany Webster. Making the switch to a greener lifestyle may seem daunting and pretty costly up front, but the government wants you to go green and they offer a number of incentives to do so. Did you know you can get a rebate when buying an electric vehicle? Marianne Cools with BC Hydro.
If you buy a new EV right now, you can get up to $8,000 back through provincial and federal rebates. And there's also an incentive through BC Hydro, and that's for up to $350 to install your own charging station at home.
That's a good amount of savings just for choosing electric over gas, let alone the cost savings on gas and maintenance. There's even rebate options for plug-in hybrid vehicles. BC Hydro says you could get up to $1,500 off the after-tax price when buying or leasing a plug-in hybrid EV. Starting a garden or taking on backyard composting? Although the sale is over for this season, Regional District of Central Okanagan Waste Reduction Facilitator Cynthia Coates says each spring they sell backyard composters at a fraction of the retail cost.
The regional district subsidizes those, so we get, first and foremost, a discounted rate by buying many of them at once, and then we also subsidize them a little bit as well to try and bring the price point down so that it, encourages more people to give it a go.
Maybe you're renovating. The government could help pay for that too. You could see a rebate of up to $10,000 for making your home more efficient. Sally McDonald, also with BC Hydro, says there are a few upgrades with rebate options. Windows and doors, insulation, your hot water heater, or your home heating could all put money back in your pocket.
There are so many great rebates available at the moment that it's a really good time to start looking at your home as a whole and prioritizing which upgrades you can make to help you save money at the end of the day.
McDonald says there's even more incentive for whole home renos.
We also have bonus rebates. If you do 2 upgrades, you can qualify for a $300 rebate. And if you do 3 or more upgrades, there's another home energy improvement bonus that will be based on how much energy you are saving by doing those upgrades.
So not only does going green save you money, the costs could be returned in part. Eligibility requirements for EV and home rebates can be found on the BC Hydro website. The federal government even has incentives with the Canada Greener Homes Grant, up to $5,000 for energy-efficient retrofits. I'm Brittany Webster.